ready.
I am Xabier Irujo. I am professor at the University of Nevada in Reno. And I am one of the co-organizers of the conference. And my paper deals with Basque politics in the USA, in the United States. and the first thing I should say about this is that even if I am studying it from a historical perspective, it is not really a historical event in the sense that it doesn't develop. It is not a process. It is quite conjunctural. It depends on the political situation in the United States and the political situation in the Basque country. And then you have up and downs, quite big ones during this 200 years history of involvement of U.S. politics in Basque country and Basque politics in the United States. We can say that the main points, main steps in this conjunctural process of involvement of both politics in the same path. The first step is during the Second Carlist War. The United States has had its own civil war, and the Basque country is having its last Carlist War from 1872 to 1876. So during these 4 years, there is a huge amount of documentation at the Washington archives about the course of the war, the two political bands, and from the American perspective, it is seen as a war between centralism and foralism, if you want. And in general, the documents are more in favor of a possible arrangement between two parts in order to create some sort of autonomic state of Basque, as in the end it happened. So, well, it is quite advanced, and it is in the very line of the British diplomacy during this time. So they follow a little bit the British literature, political literature in this issue. The second big step on the involvement of Americans in Basque politics is Guernica, and this is, should be said, the main point, and the moment in which the American administration moves more of its own people and office in an issue, in a topic, in an event dealing with Basque politics. Even President Roosevelt wanted to write, to do a written statement denouncing somehow the bombing, the German and Italian bombing of Guernica to the Spanish rebel authorities. So it went up to the figure of the president. And if he didn't do it, it was only because the British diplomacy stopped him. But we have a huge amount, and when I speak about a huge amount, I'm speaking about hundreds and hundreds of documents dealing with the German and Italian intervention in this case in the Basque country, in the war as a whole, but in the war in the Basque country. And again, in this case, the American diplomacy follows a little bit the British diplomacy. And then we have, after the war, the agreements, the secret agreements between the Basque government, led by José Antonio Aguirre, and the government first, the last years of the Roosevelt governments and all Truman administration. And both governments agreed in some sort of accord in May 1942 and lasted till November 1949. And the aim of the agreements was to seek which were the places in which the Nazi and fascist agents, secret agents, mainly in South America, were were acting in order to control and in the end eliminate them. They were not active agents. I mean, they were not 007s. They were informers. So what they did was to seek for information. They were spies, and somehow the rule of the Basques dealing with church, the Catholic Church, was very important in South America. So the involvement of the church was important. And this is a second step, we could say. And the last step, the main step of Basque politics in the USA, is located in Idaho and has a name, which is Pitzenarusa, Dave Bitter, and their three memorials. We can say that also American politicians were involved in this process. For example, Frank Church senator from church. So they had the help of the U.S. administration in this as well. And in this case, it's another, well, a very different issue, a very different moment, historical moment in the Basque Country as well. It's the last years of Franco's dictatorship and the beginning of democracy, and the problem of violence in the Basque Country. So the three memorials are dealing with this. And the logic is this. There is a political problem in the Basque Country that is causing violence. So the only way to end up with this political problem is to seek for political solutions. So the two memorials, the last ones, the 2002 and 2006 memorials, are asking for self-determination for the Basque Country as a political tool to gain peace in the Basque Country. And this is more or less the general picture of the involvement of the U.S. administration in Basque politics, or the influence of Basque politics in the U.S. politics.
Okay. Thank you, Xabier.